The four pillars of business strategy. Pillar number one, customer acquisition and sales. What's up, everybody? My name is Chris Hervochon, CPA. The website is betterwaycpa.com, and this is the first video in a four-part series where I'm going to go through exactly what the four pillars of business strategy are, how you should be thinking about them, which one you should be focusing on, and how they apply to a service that I offer called the Wayfinder. So let's get into it. The Wayfinder, as I just mentioned, it's a plan, is what it is. It's a 1-hour introductory fact-finding meeting where basically we sit down, we have a conversation. I learn more about you and your business, how your business operates, your pain points, the industry that you operate in, your clients, your financial processes, things like that. So I will review your financial documentation in conjunction with that fact-finding process, and I will start to do some research. From all of that, from that data gathering, from that research, what I will do is I will create an 8 to 9 page document, and that is the plan. That is your business's plan. It's not a business plan, but it's your business's plan for the way forward and your strategy development, your KPI development, things like that, which I'll touch on in a minute. But basically what that plan is the state of the industry and economy. So the things that are going on around you, hard trend analysis, things that are going to impact your business, future facts, things that we know that are going to happen that you need to plan for and strategize about. Benchmarking, so how do you compare to your peers? Ratio analysis, how healthy is your business, especially compared to your peers? KPI development, what are the things that you need to be focusing on in your business, the things that you need to be affecting to turn your business from the business that you have into the business that you want? Your financial process assessment, which includes all of the automation that is occurring or not occurring in your accounting process, how you're generating numbers, where you're getting data from, what kind of data you have, and the next steps. So bringing that all together, coming up with 5 next steps, things that you can do to give you the business that you want. And then what we will do is I will present that plan in another 1-hour conversation where we kind of walk through it and we talk about it, okay? So the actual 4 pillars of business strategy, and this is a key part of the Wayfinder. Number 1, customer acquisition and sales. Number 2, financial strategy. Number 3, people and culture. And number 4, risk management. Now, people and culture and risk management, we can kind of debate on the order of those 2 pillars. I personally believe that people and culture is a little bit more important than risk management, but certainly debatable. Customer acquisition and sales is the first pillar because if you don't have revenue, you do not have a business. It's a fairly basic fact, right? You need to have customers to have revenue. You need to have revenue to have a business. If you don't have those things, you don't have a business. It's either a hobby or it's a very short-lived money-losing proposition. Number 2 is financial strategy. So that's actually taking your revenue and turning it into profit. So a benefit to you as a business owner, as a stakeholder in a business. That is the benefit that you are extracting from the business. So think of the benefit as you paying your mortgage, okay? People and culture. Business runs on people. Business is about serving people at some stage in that value creation life cycle. And people are really, really important. I put that ahead of risk management, and I view risk management sort of fine-tuning what you've already got, right? So customer acquisition and sales is getting revenue in the door. Financial strategy is making sure that the revenue that you are bringing in the door is turning into the largest marginal benefit. People and culture means that your business is starting to take shape. You're starting to hire people. You're bringing the right people. You're putting them in the right places. And then risk management is fine-tuning the whole thing to make sure that it's sustainable. So here's a good example of what we do with that. And this is a slide that's directly out of the Wayfinder from the marketing agency demo Wayfinder. And we're working through those 4 pillars in the order that I described. So the first exercise that I go through in developing that Wayfinder is to look at the customer acquisition and sales. Now, in this particular instance, the owner of this business told me that they wanted to take $100,000, be able to take $100,000 out of the business every single year. So that's the benefit that we're talking about, that they're going to receive so they can go on vacation and pay their mortgage and send their kids to school and all those things. And what we're figuring out on this slide is, do they have the revenue in their business? And right now it's $193,000. You see that on the second line, to support earning that $100,000 net. And the answer that we come up with here is no. And this whole process is quantifying what profit percentage they should be operating at, what profit percentage they are operating at, how their peers compare, and whether or not they're actually operating better than their peers. And if so, we need to bring in less top line revenue. But if they're not operating as well as their peers, then we need to bring in more top line revenue to compensate for that. And then when we get to the bottom of this analysis, it says, well, we've got a shortfall in revenue of $128,000. So the first thing that we need to focus on in order to get them to that profit target of $100,000 is generating more revenue. How can we do that? Focusing on the right KPIs. So we've identified that we need to be focusing on customer acquisition and sales. Now, if we get to the point where the benefit that they want to take out of the business, they've already met that, we don't need to focus on that pillar. We move to the next one, financial strategy. So cutting expenses basically is where we would start. Looking at cash flow, or is the cash maybe they make enough, maybe their book profit is high enough, but they're not seeing the cash. So we would do a cash flow analysis and financial strategy, and on and on and on we go down the line of the pillars. But here we've identified that there's a shortfall in top line revenue. On the right-hand side of the screen are the customer acquisition and sales KPIs, which I recommended that this business focus on. So Net Promoter Score, which is the number one predictor of future revenue. Are your clients going to refer you to their friends and family? It's the cheapest way to bring in new business, word of mouth referrals. Email list subscribers, is that number growing? What is the engagement rate? That's the next KPI. If you're sending out emails but nobody's reading them, marketing emails, nobody's reading them, then what good are they? How are you going to get your customers engaged? How many people do you have that you're sending these to? So when we apply that engagement rate to a bigger population, we're obviously going to see a larger quantity of people engaging in our content who can then become potential customers. How much is it costing you to acquire those customers? What's the average revenue per customer? Average Google and Facebook review rating, and the number of website visitors. So basically this is bringing traffic. We're talking about bringing traffic into the business, people into your orbit that you can then sell to and create into money-paying customers. So here are an example of sales KPIs. A lot of these are duplicates from the previous slide, but there's a couple that are worth noting. So average revenue by industry served, average revenue per hour spent. I actually just went through this exercise with a marketing agency client of mine, which shows these are the customers that you're spending all your time on. Here's how much you are billing them. Here's your effective hourly rate. And this rate is or is not high enough to sustain the target revenue that you're looking for. So it's a really powerful exercise to go through something like that. Your customer avatar. So this is the the demographic, psychographic type age information that you can apply to your customer to figure out who you need to be marketing to. Conversion rate. How often are people coming into your orbit? How often are you turning those people into customers? Click-through rates. So how much time are people spending on your website? Those are the bottom three KPIs that are listed there. What kind of content are people ingesting? Where do you rank in Google searches? Do you need to be focused on moving yourself up the page in Google search? Because that's, in a lot of cases, that's free advertising, right? If you're in the top of that Google search that you want to be known for, more people are going to come into your orbit, more people that you can then turn into customers. So a couple final thoughts, but that's pretty much it for me. There are 4 main areas to focus on when developing strategy for your business. Those are customer acquisition and sales, financial strategy, people and culture, and risk management in that order. That's the way that I like to think about them. We go through those in a systemic way, okay? If everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. So pick one pillar, focus on that pillar until that pillar is no longer a problem, then move on. So once you get to that revenue target for customer acquisition and sales, then focus on financial strategy, making sure that you're properly capitalized, making sure that your cash flow is good, making sure that you're turning that top line revenue into the maximum bottom line profit that you can then take out of the business. And then KPIs should be developed, tracked, and relevant to your focus area. So staying focused. They should also be able to be influenced, and they should be predictive of where your business is going, not where your business has been. Okay, we don't really necessarily care where it has been, although that is helpful information. We care about where it's going and the benefit that it's going to provide you tomorrow. So that's it for me today. Here's some resources, the YouTube link to this video. There's a link here to the marketing agency sample Wayfinder. It's an interesting document. I would strongly urge you to go and read it because it kind of expands on the ideas that I presented here in this video. And then 2 Quora posts about strategy development and what it means to develop KPIs and for those to be effective. Here's how you get in touch with me, Chris@betterwaycpa.com. That is the email address. 843-608-0298 is the phone number. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Quora, Pinterest, and Instagram. Happy to connect and happy to share a dialogue on those social platforms. If you like this video, please like it and share it. I certainly appreciate that. And I will see you next time for part 2, where we talk about the financial strategy pillar of the 4 pillars of business strategy. Thanks a lot.